Chris, your team, outside of a shaky second quarter, seemed to really make some great adjustments in this one. Defense was solid. How did you assess it?
It's just, I think we had 8 or 9 turnovers in the second quarter, which was unfortunate because I thought, we had done a good job really kind of establishing a rhythm offensively, but we had some seemingly like a lot of turnovers in and around the basket. And then in the second half, we only had 7 total, so that was key, and being able to build off of that lead that we took into the fourth. But obviously Ant's big third. It's been a while since we've seen him have one of those, so it was good to see that again.
Ant seemed really thrilled about the opportunity to send the coaching staff to the All-Star game. What does that mean to you and your entire staff?
I mean, it's a reflection of our season to date. It's everybody doing their job, and it's I know the players were excited coming into the game to be able to give that opportunity to us, so we really appreciate that. More than anything, it's an honor for the organization to do this and represent them in the All-Star game. So, I know we're excited and looking forward to it, but like anything else, it's just a reflection of all the work everyone's doing. So.
I assume you got a little bit of a shower in there. These guys have all spoken very highly of you and what they get from your leadership. Just what does it feel like, the dynamic that you have with this team in particular, that connection? Yeah,
this team has the making of being a special one, not just in terms of what they've done so far in the season, but also just who they are as people, the way that they accept coaching, the way that they bounce back when challenged or from a poor defeat, and all that kind of stuff. It shows the character, and they're good. They really root hard for their teammates, and they obviously root hard for their coaching staff, which is it's fun. It's really a lot of fun.
Houston shot 35%. I mean, it seemed like so much of that was Rudy at the rim, just deterring and making them think twice. That's kind of what he's given you all year long. But did you see that a lot tonight, that effect that he had? Yeah, for sure. And I want to also pay, tribute to the defense Jaden had on Jalen Green. We challenged him the other day to get back to guarding, lockdown mode. And he really, really did that because, that guy gets hot in particular, it's a different game. So he never really could string 2 together. Only had 3 for the game. So those 2 guys have always kind of been the heartbeat of our defense on the ball and at the rim. And they were really special tonight.
Chris, you mentioned Ant having a third quarter like that first time in a while. What did you see that inspired that in this game?
He just went quicker. I just picked up his decision making. It just obviously, with the way Brooks was guarding him, we were able to get him off his body a little bit so he could get some separation. And then just quicker decision, less holding before he went downhill. Didn't jab or pump fake himself covered when he had catch and shoot opportunities. And then, if he's got the step back going, it's really hard to guard him. So.
When a team does defend as physically as they did, particularly in the first half, and obviously they tried to do it all game, but what do you most like to see offensively to counteract that?
Yeah, I mean, we have to have, we talked a lot about our spacing. I thought our spacing was poor in the first half. When they're all over you like that, you got to be able to get by them, but we have to open up better lanes. So that was better in the second half, and we just got to do a better job of finishing our cuts. When they're physical, just cut, finish it off. Open up space for somebody else when they do it, and also just screening. Kind of taking an extra second to kind of separate the defender from them. But mostly you got to go quick. You just got to go quick.
You guys have had a lot of success with empty corner pick and rolls this year. In the first quarter, that kind of sparked the offense. Got away from it in the second. Ran a handful more in the third. Is that something you guys just naturally flow into, or you look for in specific spots?
Yeah, I mean, Mike and Rudy are very good at it. So whenever they're on the floor, it's something we try to accentuate. They did a lot of switching. They're a heavy switch team, so they switched a lot of pick and roll that didn't, in certain lineups, they switch 1 through 5, and then pick and roll that didn't involve the 5. They were switching a lot of that, so it kind of didn't allow us to get into that. But yeah, it's one of our favorite go-tos. It puts a lot of pressure with Rudy rolling with no backside help.
in general, it doesn't happen all the time, but McDaniels has been fouling a lot less often.
Yeah.
It seems like his fouling doesn't really be a barometer of how well or not he's defending. So what is he doing well now in terms of not fouling? What's he not doing?
I think a lot of times he feels like he has to. Well, he's very competitive, so when he's beat or maybe hit or a little bit dislodged out of position, he just has this competitiveness that he wants to win the play all the time, and so sometimes trying to make a great play at the end, whether it be a reach in or a swing, try to block it, that kind of stuff. I think he's just showing a little bit more composure in those instances where he might be beat or a little bit compromised, but still getting a good contest with his length. You're not gonna stop guys all the time. So yes, I think he's doing a better job with that.
And then first half, it seemed like you reduced Rudy's minutes some. Was that the ankle, or is it just flow, or not anything really?
Well, I wanted to make sure that he was fresh to play as much in the fourth quarter as I possibly could. And so if I had opportunities to kind of maybe rest him in the first, that's what I was going to do. So.
Coach, over the past 2 weeks, you guys have had several third and fourth quarter leads that have kind of slipped away, and obviously today it kind of seemed like you build up that big third quarter lead, and then they kind of tried biting back into it, but you guys were able to hold them off. What do you think was the biggest difference today as compared to some of the past games?
Well, we shuffled the lineup. We had. I really liked the J-Mac Rudy combination. I've been kicking myself for 48 hours that I didn't go to it the other day. The Mike J-Mac Rudy combination. I really like that. So that gives us an extra handler. It gives us some pace. It gives us some early movement. It gives us two guys that have a ton of experience. And that's what we're trying to get to in the fourth. So, yeah.
And then, you guys are going to be going to the All-Star game, working with several of the top players in the league, namely in the West, LeBron James, Kevin Durant. How exciting is that for you to be able to, coach some of those players in the All-Star game, and for your players to be able to surround themselves with talent like that?
Yeah, it hasn't really sunk in yet. It really hasn't. It's an incredible honor. I'm sure it'll be an amazing experience. And like these guys here, I'm sure those guys won't listen to what I have to say either. So it'll be just like any other game.
Hey, Chris, will you paint the scene for us? Did you get dumped on as soon as you walked through the door? Who got you?
Yeah, they all got me with some cold water. So, yeah.